Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 6, 2021 Mars trine Pluto reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bull sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Pisces be affected by Mars trine Pluto? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Ooh, there we go. I love it when they just jump out like that. All right, at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So at our root, we have strength, which is Leo energy. If we have Leo within our natal chart, it's going to be coming through very strongly at our rooted self, but also is our embracing of our strength, Pisces, which is different than other people's strengths. So during this time, it's not like we do have different strengths than people, but we're not talking about the muscle, bodybuilder strength. And I think this is very interesting because Aquarius had the same strength. So if you're born on the cusp with Aquarius, this is going to come through really, really, really intensely. So just be mindful. You might actually want to watch the Aquarius video because this came through so powerfully that it's time to embrace our own strength. And as people more of the heart, people more of the waters of the universe, kind of like the waters of being and becoming and understanding, this is going to be quite interesting when we embrace our strength and when we sit there and say, but this is my strength and I've always viewed it as a weakness. So that's going to be something that is really quite powerful. It moves us to our inner self, and we have the Four of Fire, the Four of Wands, prosperity and abundance and success and joy and happiness and getting to be able to embrace and dance in our power. This is also the minor arcana marriage card. So what it's telling us here is what is sacredly important to us. What are we married to? What have we kind of given an oath to in our being? And maybe before we were even created, what was a part of the forming of our soul? What is a part of us that maybe we don't even understand? But if I don't have this in my life, or if I'm not embracing music or art or, science or whatever it is, I don't feel as alive. So this comes through, or riding a motorcycle or going for walks in nature. It can be something very, very small, but it's very powerful. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self, and it's the Tower. It's being thrown out of our comfort zone. Now that sounds rather dramatic to say being thrown out of our comfort zone, but what it is Spirit saying, you know what? It's time for things to change. It's time for us to embrace something that maybe we hadn't anticipated before. And so we're moving forward in a way that we hadn't expected, that maybe we didn't desire. But now that we're embracing it, now that we're seeing that we've been, pushed in this direction, it could be given a task at work that we don't want to do, or having to help our kids with a project that we think, oh my gosh, what the heck is this for? So it can be something very, very small, but it's something that's going to open up the door to us, or having our schedules change. So we have to wake up earlier or wake up later, whichever one it is, it starts to open up a new door for us. And it moves us then to our subconscious public arena message, which is temperance. This is Sagittarius energy. So if we have Sagittarius energy, Sagittarius within our natal chart, it's coming through very powerfully within our public self. And this is a time that we're finding our balance. We're finding our understanding. We also have to be very mindful of the energy that we are taking in, the energy that's fueling us. Because remember, flamingos are white birds that turn pink because of the food they eat. So the energy that we take in during this time is going to be so important to us. And that's also because this is Mars trine Pluto. It is very, very, very important, the energy vibration that is around us. And we'll get more into that in just a moment. Now we have our not public self. We have the energy that we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. It's two. It's strength, which is at our root, and it's the princess of fire. So it's fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, especially Leo. We have to be mindful of this. We have to be mindful of strength and our idea of strength. We also have to be mindful of being consumed by things, being obsessed by things. It doesn't mean that we can't get passionate about something. We can't really dive into something, but we have to be very mindful of the energy that consumes us and why we are being consumed in that way. Is it the more that I acquire, the happier I'll be? Is it that we have a passion for something and so it's actually a good thing? But we have to be very much aware. It's like, do we think the more that I work, the more I will be appreciated? Or I need to go after this because if I don't, somebody else is going to get it. We need to be mindful of this. It's not saying that if we find something on sale that we have wanted for a really long time, or that is really working for us, that we don't get excited and go after it. But we have to be mindful of the passion that is consuming us and why we are being consumed by it. Also the passion of other people and how it is changing our own energy vibration, because we can be very pulled in to other people's passions and desires and excitements and determinations. With the strength, the energy to be mindful of here is traditional strength. It is the way that we think the bodybuilder is stronger than maybe the gymnast, So here we are going to look at things and have to reevaluate what we think strength is and what we respect strength as. Because, if you follow my channel or if you've heard this before, you're going to be like, dang, this story. But I always say that the strongest person I've ever known, or one of the strongest people I've ever known, because my mom has to be in there and my grandma, but my great-grandma was astoundingly strong. And she passed away at 98 years old. I knew her when she was in her 90s. And that's something that is astounding, to sit there and to say that in my mind, one of the strongest people ever was a 98-year-old woman who was maybe 5 feet tall. And so here we are embracing strength in a different way. Strength of compassion, strength of being able to live and not letting the world rip you down and tear you apart and take away your love and your passion and your pride and yourself. That's powerful. We don't see that as strength. We think strength is acquisition. Strength is power and determination and focus and force. I will make it happen. We think that's strength. But what if we say I step back and I look at the energy that I'm a part of? I look at my gifts and my talents, and instead of saying I'm going to make the world bend to me, I say I'm going to embrace who I am and go with the flow of my world. Go with the flow of my creation, my understanding, my power, my existence. It moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And you have two here too, which is awesome. We have the root chakra and the soul star chakra located 6 inches above the crown. Our root chakra is of abundance. Our soul star chakra is angels and masters, angels and divinity. Knowing that we are protected, knowing that this protective energy is aligning us, and knowing that we're moving towards a place of abundance, prosperity, and fortune. That we weren't meant to be downtrodden, but that the abundance that is coming into our life may not be what we think it should be. And so we look again and we kind of rethink what abundance is, what prosperity is, what happiness is, what success is. And it's not keeping up with the Joneses or the Kardashians. It's being able to be joyous within our lives. It's being able to be connected to the earth and connected to the souls of creation, to the souls and the beauty of the God's head within each and every one of us. It moves us to the divine light within each and every one of us. It moves us to strength. Our strength, Pisces, is not that brute force strength. Now, if we're born on the cusp of Aries, we can have this fierceness to us, or if we have a lot of Aries within our natal chart, we can have this fierceness to us, and also fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But there's a gentleness to us. And if we can become able to embrace the gentleness, to embrace the kindness, to embrace the compassion, to embrace the beauty of us, we are going to be able to rise higher than we had ever expected. We are going to be able to see that there is power there, and that there are people who will kind of come to us that have tremendous strength to them, and things will start to align. Not all the time. We can be absolutely taken advantage of, so we do have to be mindful of this. If we see that, okay, I'm going to use myself as a personal example. One of my greatest gifts is my kindness. It is also one of my greatest weaknesses. And so here, when we have strength coming forward, we need to be mindful of part of my personal strength is kindness, but that's also something that's a hindrance to me. And so I always put it in a box of that's not strength. Strength is power and force and determination and being able to yell and scream and get what you want. Not to be kind, not to be compassionate, not to care. And what type of messed up world is that to have us think that that's not strength? To live in this world, to see this world openly and honestly, without blinders on, and say it is cruel and horrible at times. But I am still going to embrace love and compassion. I think I'm beginning to think and see that is strength beyond what most people have. And why do not we embrace that strength? I'm not playing myself up at all. What I'm saying is, and I'm trying to work out, that there's a different way forward, and Spirit is showing me that there is a different way forward than the one that we are constantly told we are to follow. And as we embrace that strength, we start to see ourselves coming home. What are we married to? What do we rejoice in? What brings us joy and prosperity and love and power? What lets us raise our face towards the sun and say, I'm embracing? What lets us stand near our Creator? But then also go out and play and release and feel safe. Because remember, as human beings, we cannot play if we do not feel safe. And so that is important. We don't tend to think it is important. But when people say, wow, I haven't laughed like that in years, and you see in their eyes that they mean it, it's like they didn't feel safe. They didn't feel joy in years. And isn't that sad? It is time for us to embrace happiness, to embrace new paths. This can lead to new job opportunities. This can lead to new career moves. This can lead to creative endeavors, embracing within our lives that bring us joy, bring us connection, bring us grounding to our earth, our soul, and ourself. And it moves us to the tower. Our hearts are changing. We're being thrown out of our comfort zone. And I see that as absolutely one of the most magnificent things. This is a time where we're realizing so much. And the structure that once stood, what we once thought was the highest point, and the light and the beacon that would shine forever, we're starting to realize, no. And if I stay here, it's stagnation. The tower can be painful. Sometimes when we're pushed out of our comfort zone, or when we're walking down lessons and roads that are more than we anticipated, that were written into our natal chart, or that we're just having to live because of life and experiences and things happening along the way. It's not easy. But the tower can also be, going into a situation and standing up for ourselves, finding our voice, speaking, saying, and embracing. We might be very shy people, and yet we're finding our voice. We're finding the way that we can stand up for ourselves. And that takes us out of our comfort zone. It can be that we have to go on a business trip and we're thinking, wow, I have to talk to all these new people. I have to do all these different things. Introverted needs to become extroverted a bit. And that's taking us out of our comfort zone. Or in a situation where extroverted has to become introverted, it's again taking us out of our comfort zone. Looking at the tower, it doesn't have to be something that's chaotic and terrible, though sometimes it is. But it is also a time of powerful and intrinsic change. And that's what our hearts are going through. And our hearts are finding that I can stand in a place that I might not have been, thrilled with at the beginning. But I can start to see the purpose and the dedication of it now. And it moves us to temperance. It moves us to balance. It moves us to understanding that the vibrational energy around us is important. It moves us to understanding where we stand and why we stand, but also finding balance within ourselves. Balance for what we go after, balance for what we need, balance for what we desire. And as we claim that balance, we claim us. As we see it, we see us, and we find the temperance, we find the harmony. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that is the Chariot. And that's saying here, be mindful of letting your emotions just run off. The subconscious and the conscious self not working together, going after their own thing, or working together and taking you along for the ride because we are not cognitively aware or subconsciously aware of the direction that we're heading. We're just letting emotions spew forward without direction. And that's not good. It's kind of like you can never hit your target if you don't take aim. So that's what we need to really understand during this time. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is forgiveness, the heart chakra. This is one of my favorite cards because it's so profoundly powerful. We need to embrace our hearts by embracing forgiveness. Not forgiveness for others, but forgiveness for ourselves. For not being the person that others had expected us to be. For not being able to live up to others' expectations. For things that we couldn't control. That we were too little or too much in love to see that it wasn't right. Here we start to forgive ourselves for being maybe a little bit different. Maybe neurologically abnormal. Maybe just different. And we start to see the power in us and in the forgiveness of the hurts and the pains that we have been through in this life and along this path. It moves us to our subconscious rooted energy. And this is temperance. Balance comes through our strength. And it transforms us. But in a very subtle, very quiet way. Because the tea is transformation. When we have the tea and we pour in the boiling water, the tea leaves, make it, and we let it steep, it becomes a different drink. But it also becomes purified because of the boiling water. So we purify and we steep within the energy that we need. And that energy becomes nourishment for us, becomes fuel for us, and it moves us to our subconscious inner self, and it's the 7 of Earth. Be patient. Be patient and see where the path takes you, where you are headed. Be patient with nature's natural development and your natural progress forward. We want everything yesterday. That's us as human beings. It's kind of like having Amazon Prime and everything coming to our door the next day and then having to wait for shipping. It's like, wait, that's not normal. No, things coming to our door the next day, that isn't normal. Instant gratification all the time is not normal. And it's being able to understand that and being able to embrace patience and connection with the earth in order for things to move forward. It moves us to our subconscious emotional energy. And that's the Queen of Cups. That's us. Coming through, this is the most sacred feminine energy of the queens. And it's coming through with love, compassion, and understanding. We are represented by the cups in the minor arcana. We are represented by the moon in the major arcana. This is a time that we open our hearts to love and success. That we embrace the power of forgiveness, the power of compassion, the power that everybody kind of poo-poos. And we see the strength of a heart, the ocean of our souls, the blood that courses through our bodies that is the ocean of ourselves and existence. And we embrace our love, our success, and our being. It moves us to our subconscious public self. And that's the devil. Now, this is Capricorn energy. So we have this within our natal chart. It's coming through very profoundly. But we're finding balance within our world. And we're really looking at the energy that we take in and how that affects us. Now, with this looks like a grisly scene. It's like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on here with the devil? Well, we have traps set out for a being that is simply embracing its nature. And we have the bobcat that killed or whatever cat this is, that killed the rabbit, which is a gruesome scene, but is the cat to starve? So we're looking at the balance of our nature. We're looking at what we had thought was maybe unacceptable about ourselves. This isn't saying cruel, malicious, hateful, hurtful things that should not be let forward. And this is saying we need to look for the traps within the world, within ourselves, our addictions, our procrastinations, our fears, that have us not being who we truly are. Because in some way or another, somebody told us it was distasteful. It's like telling this bobcat it's distasteful to eat meat. Well, what are they going to eat? They can't become a vegetarian. They're not made that way. And so now we're looking at ourselves and saying, oh, why do I feel shame over who I am? Now, again, this isn't saying that we're doing anything wrong or negative or hurtful or hateful. This is saying, what if I'm ashamed about my disabilities? What if I'm ashamed about things that happened in my past that I'm moving forward from? What if I'm ashamed of XYZ? Where do the addictions come in? Where do the, coping mechanisms, harmful coping mechanisms come in that aren't letting me be fiercely and powerfully me? That's going to be important. All right, Capricorn. Oh, no, right. This is Capricorn energy. All right, Pisces. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace this Mars trine Pluto. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces.